Hey guys, it's me again, Daniel Hutchins, and we are doing another article discussion tonight. We are doing an article discussion from our friend the Looper. Yes, the Looper. So, it's normally a channel we don't really visit that often, but again, it's noted. So again, we are talking about Star Wars again, guys. Star Wars. So, Star Wars tends to be a great topic of interest. So today we are talking about Star Wars actors who you might not know passed away. Okay guys, so here we go. First Star Wars film came out over 4 decades ago. It probably seemed unlikely from this point around that the stories were about the Skywalkers and the Jedi would only be grown in popularity far down this road. But again, the franchise hasn't only survived, it thrived, changing everything from cinematic landscape to the world of merchandise, guys. Merchandise makes money. So again, but as long as the series has been around, the sad reality is we've lost many of our favorite actors who've appeared from the galaxy of far, far away. Okay, 2016, we already know Carrie Fisher has passed away at the age of 60. Now, the news site The Guardian praised the actress for her mix of candor, sweetness, and wits, going on to say that no matter how hard her life was, or how poor some of her personal choices were, her wry observations have always seemed suffice the hope. However, Carrie Fisher's no longer with us no more. Rest in peace. Now, isn't the only Star Wars actor who's passed away. Today we'll be taking looks at some other lesser-known names from the franchise who've died as well. Now, they may not have all played big roles in series like Princess Leia did, but each of these actors helped make the Star Wars world a magical place. Okay, Kenny Baker was the man inside everybody's favorite droid. Yes. You never saw Kenny Baker, but you heard his voice from Star Wars. From the first 6 movies, he has portrayed the most iconic character droid ever, R2-D2. Yes, that is right. R2-D2 is not a puppet or animatronic, but unlike many creatures of Star Wars universe, there's an actor inside that droid. Baker was only 3'8", 3'8". He's responsible for creating much of R2-D2 and his personality, but when Baker passed away in 2016 from the age of 81, StarWars.com has wrote, whether it was the slow turn to R2's dome, the convey suspicions of nervous wobbles have signified some fear. Now Baker made a robotic being seem very human. Now, Baker played the droid from all 3 original films. He's also played an Ewok from Return of the Jedi. Not that many people knew that, but one who steals the Imperial speeder bike. He's even returned to a prequel trilogy where he once again played R2-D2. Baker was a prolific actor of his time, and he appeared in many other films of the 70s and 80s. Some of his other credits have included Time Bandits and Willow, which is kind of like a fantasy. So Eric Boyersfeld was famous for an iconic Star Wars line. Okay, Admiral Akbar. Yes, Admiral Akbar. He had a small role in the original Star Wars trilogy. He only has appeared in Return of the Jedi. But even though then, guys, he only had a few minutes of the screen time, even still his character appearance and iconic line, "It's a trap," has made him a fan favorite, leading many to mourn of his passing of the voice actor Eric Boyesfield. Okay. In 2016, guys, The Hollywood Reporter wrote that Boyesfield, who also did works from films like AI, Artificial Intelligence, and Crimson Peak, has died from the age of 93. Interestingly, though, he argued that his movie voice work was always secondary careers that stumbled onto, as opposed to his work as radio producers. Now, he's wrote many things. The voice work we did in movies was accidental, but I was working with Randy Tom on radio dramas in this time as his technical quarters in Lucasfilms. One day, Ben Burtt, sound designer for Star Wars, came by to me and asked if I would audition for a voice of a movie. Boyesfield has also voiced Bib Fortuna, also one of Jabba the Hutt's most trusted associates. Now, he returned to a role of Admiral Akbar from The Force Awakens, only just to be released just months before he passed away. Okay, Phil Brown. He's faced hardships before winding in Star Wars. Okay, as he's died in the opening hour of the film, the Uncle Owen is a small Star Wars character from the grand schemes of things. His death was a launch part for Luke Skywalker, the hero we know of the original trilogy. So in a weird way, guys, Owen is a super important character, meaning that actor Phil Brown was a pivotal player to Star Wars lore. Sadly though, Brown has passed away in 2006 at the age of 89. Even though he was quite well known when Star Wars was made, he's faced quite a bit of hardship and uphill battles as an actor. In 1950, Brown was caught up with the Senator Joseph McCarthy communist trials we know McCarthyism. He's actually blacklisted because he refused to comply with the House of Un-American Activity Committee's demands to name a communist in Hollywood. He's denied any communist material himself, though, but he actually moved to London afterwards to continue his acting. If it so happens when you come time to make a Star Wars film with George Lucas, the man behind the vision himself, was filming this in London, he needed a local actor with American accents. They brought Brown to the table not long after, and Brown was with Lucas in Tunisia, filming the New Hope early scenes from Tatooine. Yes, Peter Cushing, the legend of British cinema, y'all. Okay, one of the more famous entries from this list is Peter Cushing. He is a massive star when he came at the cast as Grand Moff Tarkin from The New Hope. He brought immediate gravitas to the film, the oozing menace of charm, and he's calm too. Again, he somehow came off a little bit intimidating as Darth Vader himself, despite knowing that Vader being one of the all-time greats of all the worlds of movie villains. Now, before appearing in The New Hope, we know Cushing is actually an icon of horror. He's appeared in many of Dracula and Frankenstein films from the 50s and the 60s. He has also portrayed Sherlock Holmes in a few movies too, but Cushing has passed away in 1994 due to his age of 81. Despite this, he actually reprised his role in Tarkin in Rogue One Star Wars story, even though the films came out 20 years after his death. Cushing was recreated, again using CGI. Nearly has defeated the Uncanny Valley, but not quite. Peter Diamond played multiple parts from Star Wars universe. Okay, Peter Diamond was one of the stuntmen and coordinators for this actor. An Information Movie Database page, he's credited with nearly 250 roles of stunts category. However, the man was a variety of small roles from the original Star Wars trilogy. He's had the large impacts of several memorable moments and scenes. Some of his Star Wars roles, Diamond include Akova, the Tusken Raider, who has attacked Luke Skywalker, and Garofalo, the guy who rats out Luke and Obi-Wan to stormtroopers to the Maz Ezli Katina, who's also appeared in various helmet background characters in the film, often when those roles called dangerous stunts. He's often contributed to the original trilogy, came from his role as stunt coordinators. He's actually created two different styles of lightsaber combats used with Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader, and Obi-Wan. Now, Diamond has passed away in March 2004 from the age of 74. Now, we keep going, guys. There's a lot. Ah, my God. Stupid codes just keep popping up on my internet screen. Okay, so Shelley Fraser was the beloved Aunt Beru. Okay, just like we said with Uncle Owen, there's also the Aunt Beru. Now, the powerhouse English actor Shelley Fraser had died in 2000 from the age of 79. She was a small, memorable heart role for New Hope as Luke's Aunt Beru. Her character died off very early in her film. Now, Fraser was Unable to contribute to the tons of the film, though. However, the aunt has murdered Spurs. Again, Spurs Luke in action. Again, driving his character arc from much of the trilogy. So Fraser was mostly known as stage actress of England. Although she's had several notable television film roles that brought her quite to the fame. Even though her role in Star Wars is small, some would argue she's indirectly responsible for Luke becoming the hero he winds up being today. Now, at the New York Comic-Con panel, author Meg Cabot has argued the very thing, saying that Aunt Beru is kind, has kindness and caring for Luke has helped him overcome the dark side and defeat of the Empire. Also been the main contribution as how Luke is the hero he is today. It also helped him to find compassion to look for the good left in Darth Vader, without whom he never really had stopped Emperor Palpatine. So yeah, nice work, Aunt Beru. Next, we have Alec Guinness. Alec Guinness, one of the greatest Jedis of all time. Sir Alec Guinness was the original Obi-Wan Kenobi. He passed away in the year 2000 with the age of 86. Even though Guinness' character of Kenobi in New Hope, he actually appeared in other films of the original trilogy, thanks to the power of, we know, the Force Ghost. Now, his casting has lent some immediate gravitas to the films, but he's also infamously viewed to destroy the fairy tale rubbish. Okay, Guinness was a huge actor when he signed to be George Lucas' space opera against Star Wars. After all, he's won Oscars for Bridge of River Kwai, which is another classic, and has starred with Lawrence of Arabia and Dr. Zhivago. Now, again, while many of their leading actors in Star Wars are big names now, they weren't all the time. Now, making Guinness the biggest star of the movie in 1977, why did he join the project if he hates the material? That's a good question. But well, there were a couple reasons to this. First, we have to keep in mind he thought the moral of the story is good. Second, he wouldn't have done any publicity for the film. And third, the studio offered him massive money. Despite this money, he ignored fan mail from Star Wars. He's even hated discussing his role as Obi-Wan. The role was eventually passed along down to Ewan McGregor, who now plays Obi-Wan Kenobi today. The prequel trilogy, again, reprises that role with Ewan McGregor, with a Disney Plus spin-off for those who've grown up with the original trilogy. However, Guinness will always be the true old Ben. Drew Henley played a small but memorable part from The New Hope. Okay, Drew Henley appeared in Star Wars franchise as the Red Leader, who is a pilot who has led Luke's squadron to a strike against the Death Star from the climax of The New Hope. Sadly, he was accidentally credited as Drew Henley's, again, from the end of this film. But hey, at least he's appeared in Rogue One Star Wars story through some archive footage from unused audio clips, guys. Now, next time you watch Rogue One, pay attention, because you might see him, as it was filmed shortly after he died. In the film, Red Leader has nearly destroyed the Death Star, but he launches his torpedoes in an exhaust port. Again, his aim was slightly off. Not long after the miss, his ship was destroyed. The poor guy was killed. Again, Henley, from the other hand, was a very well-respected actor when he was cast in New Hope as a rebel pilot. But again, he had to retire not long after film released his struggles with bipolar disorder, which is very, very common in the world today. After working through his mental illness, he's apparently settled down to run the bed and breakfast with his wife. He died in 2016 at the age of 75. Next, we have John Holos. Yes, John Holos has passed away after a successful career. Now, according to actual Star Wars credits, John Holos played Lando's aide. He's not actually given the name in the film, however. But again, he's known as Lobot. You know, Lobot, the cyborg who helps Lando Calrissian fight against the stormtrooper from the heroes escape Cloud City after the betrayal of Bespin. Okay, so according to some deeper Star Wars lore, Lobot originally used cybernetic enhancement used to augment his intelligence. During a mission gone wrong with Lando, Lobot was injured and lost his aspects of his mind that made him more human. But so now he's essentially a computer operating his human body. However, his unique cybernetic has allowed him to have direct connection with the Cloud City computer systems. Again, that's pretty neat. So as for the actor, Holos appeared in several other popular films, including most of all, the Christopher Reeve Superman films. Yes. Also, he's been in Flash Gordon and For Your Eyes Only. But after that 40-year acting career, he passed away in 2005 at 77 years old. Okay, let's keep going. William Hudkins was some of the most famous movies ever made. William Hudkins, again, is one of those actors you just know you've seen before. He's a very different look. He's often appeared to significant background characters from movies, besides his role as Porkins, a rebel pilot again from The New Hope. He also has roles in Flash Gordon, Raiders of the Lost Ark, and Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. Now, that was a real understated one. But outside of Star Wars, his most well-known role came from the 1989 Batman, where he's played the corrupt Gotham Police Lieutenant Max Eckhart. He's also a prolific voice actor. He's frequently lent his voice to radio play and audio books, if you guys want to know. But in A New Hope, Porkins was part of Luke's Red Squadron during his assault from the Death Star. Now, he flew as Red 6. Now, unfortunately, he couldn't contribute much to the battle, though, but his ship has malfunctioned earlier in the battle. Unable to maneuver, he was quickly shot down by Imperials. As for the actor Hudkins, he died from pancreatic cancer in 2005 at 57 years old. Now we have Christopher Lee. Christopher Lee is an icon of sci-fi, fantasy, and horror. One of the more prolific actors in the Star Wars franchise was Christopher Lee. Information Movie Database page him credited for a whopping 281 acting roles, guys. That's a lot of acting roles. Lee is absolutely one of the gods of geekdom. He graced several of Hollywood's most notable franchises. He also is portrayed as Count Dooku in 2 of the prequel films we know, The Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. Lee has become a huge star due to his many appearances in the Hammer horror Dracula franchises, where he's frequently collaborated with another Star Wars alum, Peter Cushing. We mentioned him earlier. Now, Lee's a posing figure. He was 6'5" and has commanding voice made to him to be a perfect villain, which helps him great deals with another massive film we know, Saruman, from Lord of the Rings. Now, man of many talents, Christopher Lee has also heavy metal albums too. He was in his own heavy metal albums in 80s and 90s. He was also knighted and was retired from the Royal Air Force with a rank of flight lieutenant. Basically, Christopher Lee was very cool. He was cooler than any of us will ever be. He's passed away in 2015 from the age of 93. Peter Mayhew, yes, Peter Mayhew, was one of the most loved Star Wars characters. Okay, Peter Mayhew is an actor who, despite never showing his face, become the most iconic character of Star Wars franchise. He has played Chewbacca, yes, Chewbacca, Han Solo's friend and companion. He's helped bring humanity to his character while many others could have disappeared. Okay, so according to Hollywood Reporter, Peter Mayhew was in hospital orderly when he's auditioned for the role. He's even kept that job until after Return of the Jedi was released, and a 7'3" actor has essentially made a living off the one role in the rest of his life, going on to conventions as the fan favorite Chewbacca for decades. He's even reprised his role from The Force Awakens in 2015. Now, nearly everyone's worked with Mayhew in the Star Wars franchise had nothing but kind things to say about him. But for example, Twitter, which is a social media platform, Mark Hamill wrote that Mayhew was the gentlest giant. He's a gentle giant. He's a big man with even a bigger heart. Add to that, I'm a better man because of him. Now, Mayhew had died in April 2019 from the age of 74. Okay, now we have Alex McCrindle. He was the first to say the famous Star Wars lines. Alex McCrindle's played a very small role from The New Hope. He's actually the first actor to speak in one of the most famous quotes. McCrindle has played General Dodonna, again, who tells the rebels their attack plan when the Death Star is approaching. Now, after explaining this, the Death Star's only weak point was their tiny exhaust ports. Now, given this information, some of the rebel pilots have expressed concerns and say Luke Skywalker speak us up as the target is not possible. Again, which prompts this line from Dodonna saying, "Man your ships, and may Force be with you." The quote's often mistaken attributed to Obi-Wan Kenobi, who actually never said that, but again, in The New Hope. But again, Han Solo says it later on too. But then, later Luke is about to take off, but Dodonna, the first character to say this from Star Wars films. Now, as for actors, McCrindle was known as television more for films though. Now, New Hope is one of the very big names to mention for him. He died in 1990 from the age of 78. Now we have Jack Purvis. He showed up in all three films of the original trilogy. We're going to explain how. So with many of the alien races of all sizes of Star Wars films, he's often had unique cast requirements. Jack Purvis was one of Hollywood's most well-known little person actors. It's no surprise George Lucas cast him for more significant roles across his original trilogy. Interestingly, guys, Purvis actually played 3 different characters from 3 original Star Wars films. Okay, he's played the head Jawa from The New Hope, the Chief Ugnaught from The Empire Strikes Back, and he played Tibu, the Ewok in Return of the Jedi. He was no stranger to the entertainment scene when he was cast from those films, but as Purvis has been around touring musical groups with the fellow Star Wars actor Kenny Baker, the R2-D2, the duo has traveled to many bars and clubs with their musical comedy shows. Purvis has also appeared in several other memorable films, mostly in 1980s, such as The Time Bandits, Willow in Brazil, and Labyrinth, which were very popular movies. Purvis has died at age 60 in 1997. Sebastian Shaw played one of the cinematic's greatest bad guys. Okay, Darth Vader, Anakin Skywalker, played by multiple actors when his deformed old man face was revealed from Return of the Jedi. Classically trained actor Sebastian Shaw has also portrayed Anakin's Force Ghost from the end of Return of the Jedi. Believe it or not, watch it and you'll find that out for yourself. Appeared to Luke alongside Obi-Wan and Yoda. However, more recent versions, George Lucas has digitally replaced the Shaw version with the Anakin with Hayden Christensen, again, who's played Anakin in the prequel trilogy. Now, Shaw was mostly known for a stage actor outside Star Wars fandom, but he was the member of the Royal Shakespeare Company, where he often played featured roles. Now, he was a Broadway veteran, but he's well known for taking on parts of daring controversial plays. But one theater he was acting in, where he had played a play called The Patriot for Me, actually had to change the classification to a nightclub in order to escape censorships. Now, Lucas choosing to digitally replace Shaw with Christensen sparked some controversy, which is still believed to be controversy yet to this very day. But again, Star Wars fans won't forget the real reveal of the real Darth Vader's face. Now, Shaw has passed away in 1994 at the age of 89. Now, Larry Ward voiced 2 of the most memorable Star Wars villains. Okay, guys, Larry Ward might not be one of the more famous Star Wars actors. In fact, the man only had 2 movies in credit, The New Hope and Return of the Jedi. He's known to have voiced the 2 Star Wars memorable baddies, the original films. He played notorious bounty hunter Greedo. In Return of the Jedi, he's provided dialogues for everybody's space gangster, Jabba the Hutt. Yeah, even more important, given the giant slug his voice, however, he's helped to develop the entire language he spoke. The foundation for Huttese. Yes, Huttese is a language. Yes, that's what it's called. Laid down some sound designs, Ben Burt. He based his language on Quichua, which is a language of group indigenous Peruvians. Burt has played Quichua recordings for Ward, Then he told the actor to improvise his dialogue to sound like that. Thus, Hudneys was born. Now, sadly, Lords passed away in 2007 from the age of 63. Yes, the actor who played Jabba the Hutt. He died in 2007. Okay, Jason Wingreen gave his voice to a fan-favorite character. Now, Jason Wingreen didn't actually appear from Star Wars films, but he has had a voice brought to life by a fan-favorite villain. Now, Jason Wingreen did the original voice for Boba Fett, which was an intergalactic bounty hunter who tracked down Han Solo. Now, Wingreen was a well-known television actor when he's auditioned for Star Wars. He's appeared in many shows. Now, if you've ever watched television of the 60s, the 70s, or the 80s, then you're probably familiar with Wingreen, without even realizing his voice was the most feared bounty hunter in the galaxy. From the world of TV, Wingreen was probably one of the more touchable names. He also played Untouchables and All in the Family. He's originally auditioned for a role Yoda, but Frank Oz got that part. It's testimated, though, that Wingreen's talent to Boba Fett became such a massively popular character, he only recorded 4 lines of that role, and he's went uncredited to this day. In fact, it wasn't until the year 2000 that people knew he voiced a villain. Okay, Wingreen has passed away in 2016 from the age of 95. Andrew Drack was a resistance reader and behind-scenes specialist. Now again, we know the year 2020 was a hard one for more people around the globe. Star Wars community. The March TMZ has reported Andrew Drack, a veteran actor dialogue coach for over 30 years, has passed away complicated from COVID-19, the coronavirus. Now on the morning of the 31st. Andrew Drack has contributed to Star Wars franchise in many ways. Fans might recognize him as Cleon M. Mott, a major from the Resistance forces from Force Awakens, the General of The Last Jedi. He's also had a voice of Muloch and Solo Star Wars Story. However, Jack's real contribution to Star Wars and cinema in general came just as dialogue coach. Now, Jack has helped many of the actors of later Star Wars films perfect their accent. Now, as TMZ noted, it's very likely that Jack had taught John Boyega how to hide his British accent from the part of Finn. He also helped the actors learn to speak fictional language. Again, guys, he's a dialect coach. Now, as original Solo director Christopher Miller explained via USA Today, he and Phil Lord asked Jack to teach Alden Ehrenreich to speak Shawiwook, which is kind of an interesting language. And Miller has said he's always remembered listening to the gargle roar at each other back and forth again. Outside from the Star Wars franchise, guys, Jack has worked on accents for some of the biggest films ever. Also included the Avengers Endgame and Lord of the Rings movies. He's left behind quite a legacy to our condolences to go out to his friends and family. Okay, guys, so that's just a little bit of some Star Wars information I want to tell you about Star Wars actors you may not have known passed away. Now, this is just a kind of a longer video, should I say. So let me know your thoughts about which Star Wars actors you might have remembered passed away. And if you remembered any of these, leave them down in the comments. And if there was ones that you don't remember, also leave those in the comments. You have a wonderful, wonderful day, guys, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.